All right, fantastic. Now that we are live on Facebook, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Thursday, December 21st, live Q&A webinar. My name is Andrew Newman. We've got Glenn Buchanan here on the line with us today. We're going to be answering your questions before we go into the holiday weekend. Hopefully, everybody has a great holiday this weekend. We will be just kind of give you a heads up on Tuesday. It is officially, we're not going to be doing the Q&A webinar. To my knowledge, I think we are actually closed on that day. However, we will be continuing back on Wednesday, just to kind of let everybody know. So bring your questions into this webinar, bring all of them, knowing that it's going to be an incredible weekend. So before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping tips, just to let you know that we will be answering your questions that are coming in through Zoom first. Those of you who have registered for the webinar and are watching there, when you put those questions into the chat, we will be prioritizing those simply because it's easier to manage than the comment section on Facebook. However, if you are watching on Facebook, you are also welcome to ask your questions there. We will be going through that comment section and grabbing your questions out. Just keep in mind that just by the very nature of the Facebook comments, we have a tendency to maybe possibly skip over a question. It's not personal. We just overlooked it. So if we do miss your question, just ask again, and we'll go ahead and address that. We'll be here for about 45 minutes. After that, we'll go ahead and let everybody carry on about their day going on into the world of funnel hacking. So without any further ado, Glenn, do you have any questions coming through?
We have one from Josh. Hey, Josh, how's it going today? Is there a way to submit a form and have the thank you message in a pop-up, not go to another URL or page?
I think that is a very good question. I've never actually tried that. I'm going to give you I'm not sure answer on that. Glenn, do you know if that is possible?
I don't believe so, due to the nature of the way we have our pages submitting with the action button. Potentially, you could use custom code like a two-step order form, perhaps, because two-step order form should actually submit the information twice, I believe. But
it submits the information twice on the, it does basically, well, essentially that is ideally pretty much the same idea. But yeah, I'm going to go with, I don't think we can without custom scripting. It's not something native to the system. Tinkering around with it, like for example, if you have it submit, go to the thank you page, and on the thank you page have a timer set that opens the pop-up that says thank you. Just basically replicating your same opt-in page with a pop-up that might give you the appearance that that's happening, but it's not something that just be able to do directly on the page. So hopefully that kind of helps answer that question. It's a really good question. Do we have anything else, Glenn, on that?
He says, or is there a way on the thank you page to have a button that goes back to the URL or page that they came from? Yes, that would be easily achieved.
That is something you can do. So essentially here on this thank you, this opt-in page, we have it submit the form, and it will just automatically go to the next page in the funnel step by default, which in this case is a sales page. So if we have on our next page in the funnel here, if you want them to go back, you can actually just put the button on there on this page. Say, for example, this one right here opens a pop-up. We can set the action here. We go to website URL, and we can actually just have this route back to that page. Now, if you just want them to go on here and for a brief moment see a message that says, congratulations, you have successfully submitted your form. Please wait 1 second while we redirect you. Similar to like how PayPal does when you have an order processed through a PayPal checkout window. It gives you a moment and says, hey, let us know if it doesn't redirect after X amount of time, please click here or something of that nature. You just simply add a timer. All you got to do is add a timer element to the page. 1 minute timer will be sufficient enough. And then right here, you can just go ahead and change this down to like 3 seconds or whatever you want that to be. And then at the end of the expiration, it'll redirect back to whatever URL you place here. And that could be the initial page in the funnel. So that would give you that same effect that you are looking for. Just a little bit of a workaround. So hopefully that helps. Glenn, did you have anything that you wanted to kind of throw in there? Maybe you've got a different way of doing it.
Awesome. So if you're looking to go the custom coding route, like we were talking about with the two-step order form, you would have to reach out to a developer or possibly ask in our Facebook community group. Other than that, the two ways that Drew just showed you would be the best route. We have a question from Simon today. If I have an action list that has 30 emails, and is there a setting that I can set to remove someone from the list at any state if they purchase my product? Or can I remove them at a particular day in the sequence? Thank you.
Yes to both. Okay, so first one, let's go with removing them on a particular day in the sequence. So, for example, if I opt into your form, I'm going through your sequence, and at the end of the sequence, you just want to remove me from that list so you don't broadcast or do anything to me as a subscriber there. What I would do is I would go into my action funnel. Now, obviously, you've already created the list. This is assuming that you've done that. In the action funnel here, we can set it up to where, let's go to our hourly sends moment here. At the end of that, you can see that we've already got this set up at 3 days. They're actually going to be removing from the list itself. So they go through the whole sequence, and then at the end of it here, this removes them from the list. You can also add them to another list at the same time by adding a new action step in here, or you can actually add them to that list, and then in the first step of the action sequence for that list, remove them from this list, however you want. There's more than one way to actually set that up, but this process right here is how you would do that in the sequence. Now, to remove them from the opt-in list, if they've created a purchase for you, there's a couple ways you can do that as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the process of the recommended and easiest way to actually do this. So here on your order form page is where you'd want to take advantage of this. Just go straight to your product settings on your order form. Okay? Inside of your product settings, what you're going to want to focus on is the email that goes out, or not the email, sorry. Hold on. Make sure this loads. Give it a moment. Okay, there we go. All right, just scroll all the way down to your email integration. And then on this step right here, say, for example, if we're using ActionEdX, not Zenlane, ActionEdX, boom, just like so, we'll go ahead and add this person to a list. And in this case, we'll add this as a demo list. We'll call this a buyers list, people who purchased, and then go ahead and update that product setting. Now, when a person purchases this product, they'll be added to that list. And then the very first thing you would do in the action sequence that is associated with that list is set it to be removed from the opt-in list, which they were on previously, so that they don't receive any more marketing messages about a product that they've already purchased. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Glenn, did you have any feedback you wanted to share about that? I believe you are muted, sir.
Thank you very much. I think that's exactly what they're looking for. I appreciate you going into detail with that. We have a question from Dan from Facebook, and it's in reference to a custom code that Mark supplied some individuals during the webinar, and it's adjusting the membership access page, the text already a member. Are you familiar with that code, Drew?
I believe I actually am. To be able to perform it again from memory would be a little bit tricky. I'll tell you what we'll do is I will make a note of that, and then we'll create a really quick video tutorial, and we'll pop it right here in the Facebook chat after the webinar, because I do know what you're talking about, and I think I know how to do it, but I don't want to kind of experiment here on the live call just to kind of set that up. So I'll go ahead and do that after the webinar for you on that particular question.
So Dan, we'll go ahead and get that to you after the webinar. We appreciate your patience on that. And I went ahead and shot you that message as well, Drew, for the code itself.
Perfect.
Presently, we do not have any questions in chat, the Q&A prompt, or on Facebook. If you guys have questions for us, please feel free to queue those up, and we'll get to those in a timely manner. Since we don't have any questions, if you want to show them the new user interface that we just added to the account details tab.
Outstanding. So some of you may have noticed this morning when you logged into your account, there was a little gift under the tree. The first thing that you'll see up here is a little bit more robust, if you will, and easier to manage account settings detail. It's a lot like our new interface with the domain management, and pretty much how all of the interfaces are actually kind of melding into this format here. So you can see here that you have your profile where you can edit your name, put your shirt size in, all those things that you did previously. This was just an open window where you could see pretty much everything about it. In this case, you'll be able to see specifically what is it you want to do, obviously managing your time, password, setting up your time zones, and language settings, all those kinds of things. Obviously, this is the time zone settings that's incredibly important with your accounts for when it relates to webinars, things of that nature. So that's kind of things to keep in mind, all of that wonderful stuff. So this is the new interface that you'll see when you log into under your account details. So that's pretty cool there. Glenn, do we have any more questions coming in?
We do not presently have any more questions coming through.
Cool. All right, just to keep it in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't have any questions come in, we will go ahead and call the webinar short. Do keep in mind that this will be the last webinar of this week, as well as the last webinar until Tuesday next week, or Wednesday next week, due to observing the holiday here in the U.S. So just keep that in mind, that if you do have any questions that you want to get answered, go ahead and ask them now, and we'll be able to address those right away. So hopefully,
I do believe it's also Boxer Day in Canada on next Tuesday.
That's right.
Josh has a question. Is there a way to send a contact to a different list during a custom field in a form, or using a custom field in a form?
Okay, so I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that, but you can send a contact to a different list based off of, for example, actions. So if you have a drop-down menu, for example, you can create a smart list that will target a specific setting that you have there. As far as the custom field, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. If you could clarify that, would be happy to kind of get a little bit more into detail on that. Glenn, did you have any feedback on that?
As you stated, with a drop-down menu, yes. However, we'd have to get more information. It looks like Josh is about to give us some follow-up. We have a question from Zachary while we're waiting. Can you go over affiliate analytics, like know when connections are working?
Okay, so affiliate analytics as far as Backpack goes, or our affiliate program. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here into Backpack to make sure everything's working. Basically, all it is you set up your funnel, you set up a commission plan, and affiliate type. Make sure you have all these three things set up. Ironically, they are actually in the order in which you would want to set them up. First is your commission plan, what you're going to pay. Second is the affiliate type, who's going to promote it. Third is going to be your affiliate funnel. And then when you look at your affiliate funnel itself, you can actually see which ones you have activated for Backpack, obviously. And then you could review all the statistics in here. Now, if you're a affiliate of marketing this particular product, you would actually go into your membership login area for that specific product. Of course, that link is right here, your login URL that you would provide to that person. And then you can log in, you can actually see the dashboard for these particular products. I don't actually think I'm even an affiliate with this particular demonstration on this particular funnel, but that's what it would do to go over a process. Now, depending on which template that you had chosen, so just to kind of give you an example here under the affiliate area, whoops, not the access, the area. Sorry, I want to go there. So in the affiliate area, depending on which template you choose and what elements you have on your page, a person will be able to see the number of unique visitors that they have, the number of unique buyers that they have, and the total that they've earned. And that's with this particular view here, right? If you can remove this element altogether and it won't show that stuff, but that gives them kind of an idea as to the metrics. Now, getting deep into metrics, wanting to know all kinds of things, like, for example, the conversion rate on a specific page, all of that is all found here underneath the statistics page, and your affiliates themselves are not going to be able to see that, whereas you can as the owner of the particular account. So as an affiliate promoting this product, if they wanted to have a more deep analytical option, learn specifically what's going on, they would need some sort of tracking software. ClickMagick, ClickMeter, things like that are out there and available, and they allow you to track with pixels as well as specific links that are mask or redirect based off of a certain behavior. So that's kind of hopefully answering your question. Glenn, did you have any feedback or any follow-up on that?
That's awesome. So Zachary says, oh, do you backpack after doing the actionetics? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that follow-up, Zach. If you could give us a little bit more clarification, we'd be happy to answer that for you. We have a question from Ben. Is there a way to deliver unique single-use coupon codes with actionetics so that each person gets a unique code? I have a list of unique codes that I would like to distribute to people.
Okay, so as far as within Actionetics itself, I don't know of a way where you could actually do that to deliver a specific code to people. What you would need is to have some sort of script that goes into the email that will call back that code, that specific code for a one-time use. not sure if actually any way off the top of my head that you'd actually be able to do that, or any type of application that would work for that. Glenn, did you have any idea, feedback maybe?
I'm not sure about that either, to be honest. That'd be something you'd have to ask a developer about and possibly working into. Yeah, I'm not even sure what application you could use for that.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. But it can be done, just not native to the system.
Correct.
Anything can be done. It just has to have some developer assistance in a lot of cases. So
sometimes that's the most challenging part with rendering answers to some of these questions, that there are solutions, but possibly nothing native to the software itself. So Josh has a follow-up question from the drop-down inquiry. So let's state that I have 10 retail locations and one page to capture emails. The drop-down has all 10 locations, and based on the location selected, I would like that user to be added to one of the different lists. There'll be one per location.
Absolutely. 100%. So what you do, obviously you have your drop-down menu created on your page. They select that drop-down, and then under Actionetics, okay, you just go ahead and create a list. In this case, you will create one list for each location. Obviously, you already understand that. So what you're going to do here is create a smart list. In this case, we'll say local clients, right? Just to kind of get it a little bit of a independent name here. So go into the Q&A demos. What we'll go here and add a rule. Now, in this case, what we want to do is want to find information about the contact, right? So action, contact is city, or contact has a tag or contact, and you can actually tag them in their process when they opt in. Okay, has that tag, last engaged, all the wonderful stuff that you could do. Now we can actually go here, state, city, email address, and you don't even necessarily have to have them pick which gym is closest to them. It can actually be just based off geographical location, all that kind of stuff. But you can also do this using that same field. So here, if we just go, basically state is equal to or contains, in this case equals to, and then you go ahead and put that that state code there, abbreviation, zip code, whatever it is, or that field. So if you have that particular field in your drop-down menu, you can put that as a rule, and then it'll actually filter out all of the people who meet that criteria, and then it'll populate that list. So each independent list will be for each independent area. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Glenn,
Also,
did you have anything you wanted to
follow up? Just wanting to make sure that each of those fields will show up in that drop-down. Or he asks, will those fields show up in the dropdown?
It would be your custom type. So they will show up here. Let's see, for example, so if you tag them, right, with Gym 1, right, all the people will, this is the tag that you create. So this will be the different selection within their profile right there. So that's what that would do. It's not going to pull out the individual contact that, like right here, it's not going to be in the dropdown for that specific gym. You just have to set it up like that. So
perfect. So Ben has a question. I'm getting ready to set up a free plus shipping for a physical product with an upsale or two. Is there a training or place you can direct me to help me walk through all of the components of setting this up step by step?
Absolutely. That's actually a very straightforward funnel. So basically, if you just kind of go in here and play the funnel building game, you'll actually be able to build out a specific funnel with those particular steps. Also in our knowledge base, if you go to docs.clickfunnels.com, how to set up an OTO, how to set up a order page. Each individual document will walk you through the steps of that. Now, if you're looking for a specific training on that specific funnel to set it up just step by step that way, I'm not sure that there's something that will do that particular funnel, because it's obviously the structure's consistent, but it's also unique per se. So Glenn, did you have any feedback you wanted to share with reference to step-by-step training? How does that work?
We don't necessarily have a document or video that would be able to walk you through that step-by-step. If you do have an issue with setting it up, you can always enter a ticket into support and ask for a little assistance. Often our support members are more than happy to make a short video explaining one of the processes to you. Checking to see if we have any further questions coming in. We have a question from Jim. Is there a naming convention you would recommend for keeping track of the emails you set up in Actionetics and the funnels you create? Russell suggests creating a funnel per week. How can you use a naming convention to keep track of all the different funnels you create? This gets even more complex when creating funnels for clients. Any suggestions for naming funnels and emails would be appreciated.
Okay, so I'm assuming what you mean is something similar to this. If I go ahead and just close out all these wonderful little tags. So as you can see here, all of this is a tag. When we create a funnel, for example, if we go to the classic, quicker, go ahead and click sell a product here, sales funnel, and right here when we name it, okay, so funnel 1. Now in this group tag, we can go weekly funnel, right? And now what we've done is we've created a new category for weekly funnel, and this is funnel 1 in weekly funnel. So we go back out to our funnels page here. You'll see weekly funnel as the tag for that category of funnels, and then funnel 1 there. So in this case, you could label this whatever it is that you needed to. Shared funnels, for example, is another category. These are funnels that have been shared with you through the share funnel links. So those will be automatically separated. So if you're working with clients, for example, you could have client funnels, and then in there, that'd be just basically their backup, and then you give them the share funnel link for that, and it'll be in their account underneath their shared funnels, right? And then they can always come back to you. You can constantly edit those funnels and stuff like that. So that's how you would actually segment out your funnel list here. Now in Actionetics, it's the same thing. When you go in here and you set up your action funnels, right? So for example, here in my action funnel, you can see webinar funnels, list population, test funnels, Q&A demos. They're all segmented and separated into their individual purposes. In this case, go here, just add a new action funnel, and right here, the group tag, right? You'll see me doing this in the video when we do demonstrations where I tag it to the QA demos, right? And the same thing here, we name the action funnel. Go ahead and throw the date in there so that we have a unique one, and just go ahead and create that. And you'll see here that this was, boom, goes ahead and creates this particular action funnel underneath the QA demos right there. So you can see right there that, whoops, down at the bottom there, right there. That's the one. So that's the one that was just created just now. Same thing with email lists, the exact same thing over here. QA demo lists, all of these are just demonstrations that I've created. That was another one. I wanted to segment out Minnesota subscribers. I happen to live in Minnesota. So you can see here that we created a smart list as a demonstration one day, pulled out 22 subscribers that I have that currently live in Minnesota. This one actually is a location smart list for people who live in California that are subscribed to my list in this particular account, that kind of thing. So that's basically how I would recommend that you set it up to, find it, easily manage it. Obviously, the name of each individual funnel is tied to the funnel that it is. That would give you a easier way to sync it together and make it all make sense. Because if you look at ours on the videos, this is all just testing and demo stuff. These aren't live funnels. We don't use our accounts here to make personal funnels with, because obviously it'd be very difficult to manage all this. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Glenn, did you have any feedback you wanted to share about that?
Awesome. Jim, if you need any further clarification on that, please let us know, other than just using the tagging or being creative with the way that you manage your groups. That's the best way to do it. Ben has a follow-up question for tagging. Is there a similar tagging organization for images?
Not that I'm aware of. Oh yeah, actually there is. I lied. So basically, let's just go into our images here. We'll just open up a random funnel to get in there. So when you're uploading your images, you have the ability to tag them based off of obviously groups, because you want to be able to access those. Hold on, there we go. Add that image. We'll go in here, go to our editor. Bam. So you can see here, you could search by tag, right? So when I upload an image, add an image from wherever, oops, upload an image, I have the opportunity of tagging that based off of a group of whatever it is that I want. Now, I can't even remember what I use. There we go. There's a demo tag. This particular image is tagged with the demo, and you can see that it pulls that out, right? Same thing. Who knows? I got all kinds of little images in here, but there's like this one, for example. I can enter a tag and call this exercise, boom, like And you can see that that is now tagged as that. So when I go search for, boom, just like so. Didn't pull it up, but you get the idea. It's the same exact concept. When you go through and you add the image, you have the opportunity of tagging that image. And then you could search your images here in this by the tag that you created, and it'll pull up all those. I don't actually have any tags on all my images, but yeah, you see how that works inside your image uploader. So hopefully that helps.
Ben says thank you. It makes his OCD heart so happy. We have a few questions about Stripe, so I'm going to go ahead and group those together. Vera would like to know how to set up Stripe, and then Simon would like to know how can I update Stripe payment methods for people that are doing like a membership payment.
Okay, so Stripe is actually really easy to set up with ClickFunnels. Okay, it's actually, they go together like peanut butter and jelly, one might say. So if you go into your account settings and you just go under your payment gateways, all you need to do is click on Connect Stripe, right? And the first thing that's going to happen is if you don't have a Stripe account, it's going to create one for you. If you want, you're going to need to be logged into Stripe. Now, I'm not going to log into Stripe on the webinar because obviously it's a financial institution. But if you have multiple Stripe accounts, which a lot of people do, you can actually log into your account and you can select which one you want to connect to. Now, obviously, you can collect up to 3 Stripe accounts within your account. Now, to answer the question about setting up membership products, that's actually done inside of Stripe. So in Stripe, there is the option of creating a subscription-based product, and that's what you do. You go in there and you set it up. You set the frequency up. A little drop-down menu. It's got daily, weekly, or a custom day, yearly. All the different options that you can set up for the frequency that you want that person to be billed. And then all you do inside of your account here. Say, for example, if we go to our membership or our sales process here on our order page. Right there, gotcha. All right. So in our order page in the product settings, when you select Stripe, bear with us. Okay, there we go. All right, so when you select Stripe, in this case, we're going to go payment plan, right? So what the system's going to do is the system's actually going to go into Stripe based off that connection when you just click connect on the payment gateways, and it's going to pull in all the different stuff that you have with reference to subscription-based plans. In this case, the funnel hack test upsell, right? Number of payments here, you can actually set this up. So say, for example, Stripe does not let you set a end date on the subscription, but ClickFunnels does. So what ClickFunnels will do, let's say, for example, we want the person to pay us monthly for, I don't know, 120 months. That's 10 years. You know, I'm happy. I got a member pay me for 10 years. So after 120 payments, this is actually going to automatically stop the subscription on that particular plan. You can set this to 0 if you want to, and it'll just continue to bill. Or if you have like a 3 payment plan or something like that, you put a 3 in here, it'll stop this after 3 billing cycles. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Glenn, did we have any more with reference?
And if you're looking to update clients' credit card information, Stunning Co., I think, is what we're suggesting people to utilize. Are you familiar with being able to walk them through that, Drew?
Stunning.io.
It should be stunning.co. And that should allow you to update your Stripe payment process.
So this is Stunning. This is actually a third-party application. This is not obviously anything to do with ClickFunnels itself, but if you come here and you actually sign up for Stunning, this will let you manage your subscription base. It'll also allow for your users, I actually think that I actually have an account here, but it'll allow your users to manage their subscriptions as well through their interface. So I don't have an account. Glenn, do you have an account? I'm not.
I do not presently have an account, no.
Yeah, but this is something that you can look into when it comes to obviously running your membership site. It's a really good platform for that. So just keep in mind it's third party. This has nothing to do with us as far as ClickFunnels goes, but we do have quite a few users who are using it with a lot of luck. So if you have any questions about Stunning, you can reach out in the Facebook community, and a lot of the people who are using it will be able to share with you some of their insights and best practices. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. We have a few more questions coming in. Matt would like to know, is it possible to set up more than one different email in ClickFunnels? Say you own two businesses and you want to go to matt@xyz.com and another to go to matt123. Is that possible to have multiple emails set up in your account?
Okay, so as far as emails going to your account, that's not necessarily what you're going to experience inside of ClickFunnels. It's more of your domain. So if you're wanting people to email those particular domains, that's going to be set up with your registrar. Now, if you got your domain from us, obviously you can set that up inside of your account here under domains and adding in the MX records that go with that domain to be able to do the emails. Now, if you are looking for example, you have two funnels and you want to be notified at those two particular emails about particular actions that are taking place on the two particular funnels for those individual businesses, you can do that. That's fine. What you would do here, obviously setting up an additional SMTP server, one for each of the businesses, or an independent autoresponder. If you're using an autoresponder, then your autoresponder platform will allow you to send notification emails from there of a new subscriber. Same thing here inside of ClickFunnels. What you would do is underneath the automation tab here or in Actionetics is you would actually set up a new action, and on each funnel you can actually have it send a notification email and then notify each of those emails that you want to notify here. It'll send out a notification saying an action of some sort took place, whatever it is that you're trying to let your manager, whoever it might be for that particular business, know. So hopefully that answers your question. Glenn, did you have anything you wanted to share about that?
Awesome. So if you're looking for incoming emails, we have some documentation on email web hosts. We currently have documentation on Zoho and G Suite. We're able to set up multiple different domains and then set up MX records within ClickFunnels if the domains are purchased from ClickFunnels. If not, there's also information on setting up externally. And like Drew said, if you're looking to send out emails from two different businesses, you'd have to have multiple SMTP services, and that would require having Edison Suite. The basic plan only allows for one SMTP. Ben has one final question for today. Do you use visualization software to map out funnels prior to setting up in ClickFunnels? If so, what do you use?
I personally do. I've used a variety of things, Lucidchart being one of them. Good old-fashioned pen and paper or a whiteboard with a marker. That's something that I enjoy. I actually like the process of mapping them out. There's a couple of different applications. Funnelytics, for example, is one that I think it's free that you can go check out. And there's a couple of other apps out there that I know that others are using as well. That is an incredible question to direct toward the Facebook community and see what others are using, because I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff out there to be able to do that. Glenn, did you have any feedback that you want to share on that topic?
Sorts of amazing answers for this. There are people that do Adobe Photoshop for some, and they actually will paste that as a background in their funnel and then build a funnel out around it to make sure it looks like the same layout. There are people that use Canva, Lucidchart. There's hundreds probably of possibilities. Personally, when I have the time, I like to step away from my computer and use good old-fashioned pen and paper. All right, so no questions left in Zoom or the Q&A. Let's check over on Facebook and see what we have going on there. Dan would like to know, is there a way by default to have all groups closed on the funnel browse page so that I can just browse through the groups? That when the group finds a funnel, the search function never seems to work when browsing.
You mean just to have it show like this? I don't know. That's a good question. Glenn, do you know if we could just default it to where it shows like this?
I believe it defaults as an accordion, so it's already out.
That's what I thought, because I actually go through here personally and just close it out like this a lot. These currently are just kind of opened up right now because we demonstrated
However,
it.
that would be an amazing feature to add to our feature request, and I can send you the link for the affiliate feature request, Dan. So Vera is following up about integrating Stripe. After it's set up, it says connected. Where do I find it from there, and how do I get the link? How can I test it to make sure it's working?
Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, if you are testing a funnel that has continuity product, basically a product that has a payment plan attached to it, even if it's a 3 pay on a $9.97 product or whatever it might be, that's going to have to be set up in Stripe inside their account under both test mode and live mode for this to work. And then you would actually toggle the funnel into test mode inside of ClickFunnels, and then you could run test payments through that. Now, if you're just taking one-time payments, say, for example, if you're selling a product, an ebook, or a course that's like a one-time payment, that you don't need the product set up on the Stripe side. You just need it to be set to test inside of ClickFunnels, and it will perform the same action. So to set it up, essentially here, what you're going to do, we'll go in here to the demonstration funnel. And once you've connected, obviously, through your account settings over here, under your payment gateways, it'll say successfully connected. Then when you go to your order form, what you'll do is you'll just simply click on the product. And during the process of creating your product, you'll click the edit. You'll, of course, have done this before you start creating your product. Otherwise, you won't be able to. But you'll notice that the drop-down menu, there we go. So the one-time payment here, we'll go with that one. So right here, we set the amount, the currency, obviously, that we're going to be selecting, and then scroll all the way down here. Okay. On Stripe. Select Stripe right there. Sorry. Scroll up to the top. Select Stripe as your payment processor. And then right here, you just set the amount for the product that you want to do, and then click Update Product, and you'll be good to go with that. Now, if you do have a payment plan, this one here, or a subscription-based product, in this case, go to a subscription, pick your Stripe plan, and then what you'll see here is that this particular plan is going to be referenced inside of your Stripe account. That's where that is set up. So that will actually start your process on the payment on the receipt there. Same thing here, payment plan. This gives you the opportunity of editing the number of payments. So say, for example, we're going to go meals for 7 days here, and we're going to do this for 52 weeks, and we're going to do a weekly payment for 52 weeks, and we'll give you a new meal plan every week for 52 weeks. At the end of the year, this stops. That would be $7 per week at this particular point. So as you can see here, it's already connected. Once you've clicked on it, it says connected, and you just go into the product settings and set it up from there. The only caveat to that is that if you are doing a payment plan, something that requires ongoing billing, that does need to be set up on the Stripe side. So hopefully that helps. Glenn, did you have any feedback you wanted to throw the pot on that one?
So for testing, once you do that, you can set up a one-time product, and you can test that by merely going to the settings tab of the entire funnel and then toggling it into test mode. You can also do this for subscription plans. However, you'll have to have the subscription plan set up within Stripe in the test portion of Stripe itself for it to properly be able to process that. And once you toggle the test mode on, just ensure you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and update the page in settings so that it toggles into test mode. It's just a commonly missed step. Hey, Anthony, I see that you had a question about plans for live phone support or chat. We do not offer live phone support on the basic levels. However, there is something called our Click Start program where you're able to have one-on-one coaching. And I went ahead and supplied the link within the chat for you as well. Anthony's got a question. If you have one main product and 3 upsells, how do we set up ClickFunnels to where the customer only has access to the specific products they paid for and not others within the funnel?
Okay, perfect. So essentially, it's going to be depending on the product. How are you delivering that product, right? If you have one regular product with your 3 upsells, and these are, say, for example, one-time purchases where they're going to access that product on a thank you page, they click a button, download that product, you simply set up an order confirmation page like this. And what's going to happen when they go through the funnel, I'm curious if this still has my data cookied from yesterday. It's possible. No, it doesn't. But if we go through the funnel, we have all of our purchases on this particular page. You'll see a list of the products that were purchased. So say, for example, they purchased your main product and 2 of your OTOs and not the final one. They'll see the main product and the 2 products that they purchased, and they'll be able to access that purchase by clicking this button here. What that's going to do is take them over to the thank you page where they can download it. Alternatively, you can set up a membership area. in the membership area, you can have it to where they have sections that are created. So here underneath, for example, this is a membership area. We have the different sections here, right? In this case, what you do is you'd simply restrict the access based off the product that they were purchasing through the funnel. So they purchase the awesome report. That's how they get access to this section here. Then you can place the download link, the video lessons, whatever it is that you are providing for them under that particular product section. The next thing that you have down here, it would be OTO1. We add a new section here. We'll call this OTO2, right? And then OTO3 would be the same thing. We can add a new lesson underneath here. Select OTO2, my product. I don't have an M, apparently. There we go. My product. And you can obviously select the different page template that you want. Just throw that in there just for random purposes. And then this would be your product. They would only be able to access that under the restricted access of purchasing. Say, for example, in this case, they've paid in full. Any one of these three products actually will go paid in full. Will allow them to have access to just that section. In this case, you have the option of creating a option to be able to buy anything they didn't. So for example, if they were to get delivered in this method, they purchase your first product, but not your next three, you could actually have a button inside this area to say, hey, did you like this content? Please purchase the rest of it. They click on that and it would actually allow them to access these particular ones without having to go back through your funnel. So in my opinion, this is probably the best way to set it up through a membership area versus the first way through going to the thank you page. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Glenn, did you have any feedback you wanted to share about that?
Yeah, having the sticky button for an upsell is awesome for additional sales. If you're asking this after testing your pages and purchasing products, and you had only purchased one or two of the products and you're seeing all of them, your confirmation page will show all of the previous purchases you've made. So we do highly suggest using incognito windows or a different email address when testing, just by adding like a +1 to the email itself. And if that doesn't make sense, I mean typing out the email address itself and then prior to the @ sign, just adding a +1, which registers essentially as the same. And there we are. Hopefully that clarifies the question for you. If not, feel free to let us know. Presently, we have no further questions in the Q&A queue, the Zoom chat, or on Facebook. And we have about 2 minutes left.
Perfect stuff. So if anybody has any questions for us in the final 2 minutes, we'll be happy to field those. And if you do not, we do appreciate you. We enjoy coming out here every day with the questions, and especially those ones that we don't know the answers to, because that's where we go to work in the background after we end the webinar. We get to work and learn those things, because obviously it's something that I personally can't handle not knowing. I don't know about Glenn, but I don't like not knowing answers. It's part of my personality. But Glenn, do we have any more questions coming in?
I do not see any further questions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. We hope you have a wonderful Christmas and holidays with your family and friends, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Have a great day, everyone.